The case study is the small island in Fujian province in China, and which is supported by the Commission of Reform and Development of Fujian province government. And the topic is about the digital China, how to develop digital China in Fujian province. So there are some projects we involved in Fujian province. This one is the one of the projects. And for this project, we, as I introduced in the beginning, we are focused on how to visualizing the smart infrastructure system and the smart services in the building space. So what we're considering is to create a new smart city space. And I have cooperated with Dr. Pudri to publish one book, which named as Green City and Planning in Asia Cities. So in that book, we're talking about the progress of smart city in Asia countries, including the practice as in Indonesia. And in the book, we discussed developing the conceptual development about the green city and smart city. And so originally we think about in Asia countries, actually we're combining the concept of the green and smart together. So we tend to say the practice or planning practice in Asia countries is like the green and smart city planning. And this time on these biases, this time I have finished this project 7 years ago, and we mostly focus on how to develop the smart parts in a small island in China. So we consider how to develop the smart service and how to use the big data in the cities and how we can change the lifestyle in urban space. And in this case, we only take the small island as a study example. And we like to show and visualize the model, a smart city model in Chinese cities. And here is the location of the project. And you can see there's an island here, we call the name in Chinese is Huangguan Island. It's a very, very small island. It's a solid island from the mainland, and also located in the coast strait between Taiwan and mainland China. And here is the Fujian province. And Huangguan Island belongs to Fujian province. It's near to the new district of Fuzhou City. And we can see in a more detailed scale, you can see here, this is the Huangguan Island. And this area is a new Fuzhou district. And it's a solid, very small island separated with the mainland. And so this is a more bigger scale, so you can see here. This is still one island, we call it the Dongbi Island, but the Huangguan Island is smaller than these Dongbi Islands. So it's the smallest island in these areas. And before 10 years, I think 10 years ago, no population were living in this island. So this island has been developed several years ago for tourism areas. So this is a picture of the Huangguan Island. You can see there's a corridor here. Near here is a park, and people can get access to this island by boat, only boat, a small boat. Island is only for the tourism, for the tourist visitors. This is a hotel. It's like a detached house here, and there, here is the hotel, the big hotel. So this is the hotel with the single house, and here's the hotel with the visitor centers. And so the owner of the island like to try to improve infrastructure and service of this island for tourism. So we have make a planning proposal for them how to make this smart and sustainable. So what we've done is we propose two kind of concepts. One is the smart infrastructure, and another one is a smart service. This we have proposed it in this project. And this is a video that shows some idea we like to improve the energy saving in these islands. I will introduce later. So till now, I think I share some information about this project. So this islands without any population, and it's only for tourism. So there's some hotel has been developed, it's constructed by the islands owners now. And then we like to make this island more smart according to the digital Chinese policy in China. So this is island we present in a more bigger scale, but you can see there's a circle around the island. It's very, very small island. There are two circles, the inner circle and outer circle. So this hotel is here, and this is the visitor centers. We like to build more single house here. Also, we like to make some proposals for making this smart, more this island more smart. And here's title smart transportation. So you can see here there are two circles here. Then this can be used for the self-driving car and for the smart pier. Anyway, it's for the pedestrian and also for the employees for working in this island for some hotel service or restaurant service. And in the left side, we propose some functions for these islands, like the data center. Here we can collect all the visitors data who access to this island. And also, the function of these islands, even is only for the tourism. We develop such as some building for conference, and also for some meeting space and other functions. I didn't mention for like the training program or the academic conference or symposium, which is possible in this island. Because the transportation to this island is quite limited. Only boat can be used to access the island. So we have two yachts here. So only a small boat can access this yacht, and only two entrance here. So actually, it's very difficult to drive car to access this this island. So the car here is only for the car sharing system. And this is a Huangguang Island is quite small, and this is the picture of the single house. Is only for the hotel functions. This is the Dongbi Islands. This is a big island. So this is a small island here, and behind this island is a Fuzhou city. And so in the right side of the island, we still have a Pingtang Islands that's close to Taiwan. So this. So you can see the transportation is no access by the ordinary transportation mean. So only can be accessed by boat. And we can suppose some car sharing system in this small island for tourism. This is hotel. And because we are doing the planning and design work, so what do we propose in this process is about some infrastructure monitoring system and some smart service system. Here we propose some monitoring system here. We also check many IoT productions and suggest to integrate all this kind of monitoring system together. And also we suggest one smart service system for all the visitors. So it's because the island is very small, so it's possible to develop only one system to integrate all the personal information for all services. And it's convenient for the island owner to get the payment from the visitors. And also, it's possible in future we are planning to do low carbon games for the visitors who are active in these islands. So it's a initial step. We like to use the Unity program to edit some online game system. But in this stage, we just suggest how to visualize how to include some kind of smart service we show here, and we visualize such kind of smart service. And in the future, we will try to make online game, so like it's make it possible like the digital gym. In the real society, in the real island, the people can use all this smart service system to enjoy the life in a smart in the island, but evaluated by their behavior, how they can achieve the low carbon and achieving their energy saving. So I think that's the interesting project in the future. It's still in the initial project, the initial stage. So about the infrastructure monitoring system, you can see here we checking the environment and checking the transportation behavior, and checking how the energy was used, would be used in this island. And here's about the building, in the building with the lighting control. Anyway, in the urban areas, it's also possible to monitor the lighting and control the lighting. And because it's a isolated island, so we also consider a logistic management system and also a waste disposal system for these islands. The lighting and air conditioning is only for the urban space and building space for energy saving. And we have conducted a lot of research for the low carbon cities or low energy consumption buildings. The energy house of the energy building. So we try to include our research work in these islands. And also, Dr. Brady also covered with us when she was studying in Canada University. He also developed some system for lighting, I think. Also developed that work from the outcome of your research. So this is for the building, anyway, that's the function for smart function we consider it for the building in this island. So like the smart access control. So we're checking ID and checking all the behavior of the visitors, and then we can check in his of energy consumption in this area in the future. So we just suggest this kind of functions and for in the different kinds of facility. So in this building, in this island, we consider the community centers, tourist development centers, hotel, and education training, and convention hall, and conference centers. So for all users, like we show here, because there's just a little residence here, just for providers and services, and we cooperate with the employee in this island. will provide the service for the tourist visitors, for the trainees, and workers, staffers in the convention centers. They also, because we can hold a symposium conference here. Actually, we will also host 2 times design competition for this island, make this island smart. And also we published 1 book in Japan. And we published all the works by the students who joined this competition from the world. Okay, so there's introduce some detailed things we considered for this island. For example, it's about garbage transfer system. So we put some IoT device that here, and it's possible to collect the information from the box, and we can also integrate with the data or with the truck that delivering the garbages, and so the data can also save in data centers, and we also consider to support a digital twin in this island. So we have the real garbage transfer system, and also we have the data system for this kind of smart cities. And here is about the building security service. I think it's more convenient with all the participants even, because this already this kind of building security system has been employed in the daily life already. In this island, we suggest a wearable hand ring and also face recognition system to all the buildings and for all the users in this building. And despite some kind of work, we have made some progress from Kudri have done in Canada University. So this one you can see there's some kind of building energy system. We can define the based on the ambient space and the task space. So that's the workers, if they say this space, they can define the community, the temperature and the humidity as their preference. And everybody can define the surrounding environment condition for themselves. And we can calculating how I mean, here you can see how this you can see how energy was consumed in this space based on the task and appearance environment configuration. And also we here, so there's some problem with this videos. So probably I have to since my computer with some problems. I'm sorry, I had to stop my sharing, and I will reshare again. So okay, you should once again. And this is for the lighting system, and which is devoted use the occurrence system. The people can get in the room and lighting system will do action to the people's mobility, people moving. And then when people get close to the lights, then you will turn on. And when the people leave, you will turn off. So it's possible to calculate the energy consumption in this space. So that's what we have suggested for these islands for studying how to make the device, how to make the device more saving energy according to the smart device and humans' behavior. That's what we have suggested for the buildings in these islands. And anyway, it's for the zero energy buildings or zero energy house, it's necessary to use some solar panel system and can use nature powers to implement as an implementation of the energy demand in this island. So I'm sorry, it's still edited in Chinese. It's for the solar panel. We have put it in this island on the top of the single house as a hotel. And also we have put some wind powers here. And for the lighting in the island space, around the road, we use the solar panel and the wind power. That's what we suggest for these islands for achieve energy consumption in this island. So this is the one system framework for the solar energy in these areas, in these islands. So this is just the conceptual ideas. We need a system. Also, we have to put the solar panel in these areas. We need to develop an electricity power system for using and generating the energy. They also have lots of the service we see is available for this island. For example, like the smart access control system. So let's let people to use some panel to or use some computer terminal or use IC card or some kind of cell phone and other devices. It's possible for the central system can check in people access or leave. This is a data system, computer system we suggest here. And for visitors, the people will pay some service in these areas. And for example, they like to get some ticket for join the conference or buy some goods in this island. And so we use some scan device to check in who is get in, who is get out. And we can provide some mobile terminal for provide all the information and also collecting all the data for the smart tourism service in this island. And this is the logistic system we proposed for these islands. Sorry, it's edited in Japanese. We still don't find time to translate it to English. So as you know, I have introduced in the beginning of this presentation, I think the board can access the island only. So the logistics should be started from here. So when the goods delivery from this place, we have some transportation system, and also some registration system for all the goods. And then we can understand where the goods, where is the good and whether it's being consumed or not. And this is some kind of we also service we also provide for these areas. So for example, this is some kind we like to visualize the smart reading space in these islands, the face recognition and meeting management system. This video is recorded by the Oculus system, so it's not so stable. And it stands for the water, and workers can find a place, can sit here. And these meetings can be joined by real space, and also can be joined by the virtual space, like the metaverse, the functions provided by metaverse. I guess some of you know the workroom provided by the metaverse company. It's something like that. So it's possible to access virtually and also can access in real meeting room. So this all this is a framework we are studying for these smart islands for the users like residents, training, staffs, and experts. And we providing smart meeting, smart offices, smart hotel, smart tourism service, and smart convention hall, and smart training program here. And for this, we need to integrate data centers for integrate all these services, and also we suppose only one data centers for all the users. So it's better, it's easy for managing the smart island by one data center. And this is quite different with the big cities. If the smart service, the smart city services provided in the city areas, all the systems should be divided, separated, because the department is different. The company, running company, management company is different. Even the data collecting company and the service company is different. So it's quite difficult to provide this integrated system, including hard and software together. So because it's a very small island, so it makes it possible. So here we also, because we are only doing for the planning and design, so we also visualize this kind of project. We propose all, we visualize all the infrastructures and smart service in this island. And this is the data, the city model we edited for these smart areas. And it's also it's possible to, I'm sorry, this video is no edited view, but we can see all these projects can be visualized in you. So, okay, you can see this is a project. This is the visualized work we have done for this smart island. So we show all kinds of service infrastructures. That is some problem with the system. Sorry that I still need to stop it. Let me check the system. So I will restart. So I see now you can see this screen. Here we have some system menus, which is added in Chinese. They show the building management system and also show the facility management system. And also can collect data from the sensors. Anyway, this is virtually data. Just show how these islands can be managed as smart islands. So the data is not so beautiful, but because we put attention to visualize the smart service. So these are the average stations. So data is not edit beautiful, but you can see what kind of work we've done for visualizing the services. It's conventional centers. This this is for the hotel. It's for the data center. Okay, so I think the data is not so beautiful. But also, we have suggested some smart building in these areas, particularly for residential or residents. Yeah. So we have improved some design that creators and the centers from the original planning standard to the smart building standard. So this is some kind of the layout of the residential unit, and we suggest some kind of the smart functions in different rooms and improved it as a smart residence house. And also for the smart service, we provide, we suggest to put all these kind of sensors and make the workspace more smart. And finally, I like to say that the work is still ongoing. And so in this stage, we just cover with the planning with the island owners in this stage, which is the planning stages. We also have published several books, several papers. I listed two of them here. So one is the design of smart visiting service management system for personal information collection in order to integrate tourism management into ICoSiET island. This is about the island I introduced just now. They also have some develop some design guidelines for installation of the smart service in urban areas, which is also available for the smart island. And also put one book, one papers here. That also will show the DOI here. If this is the published in open access journal, so if you're interested, you can try to access these two papers, and probably you can get more understanding about what the work we have, what kind of work we are in progress. So thank you very much. And I'd like to say thank you, Dr. Purdy, for inviting me to share my recent research work with you. And also I'm looking forward to establish some cooperation between Indonesian universities and Japan University, also Chinese university. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for such an interesting research. So we are honored to hear your research recipe in your lab. I think you talked about the visualization of smart small island. You put some sensors there, and there is say energy management system, and also logistic systems, which is very needed in an isolated island, and also how you manage self energy production system, so it cannot be, it does not how to say, depend on the main island, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I miss the day when I'm in your lab, trying to visualize I'd say the buildings, and also the planning supports how to visualize the how to say, visualize cities for a green smart cities. There is how to say that there is a few questions. Maybe you can stop sharing. Please display the question. The host. Please share. So there is several questions for you, Professor.
Okay.
Please.
You mean in the chat room space?
Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay. So from Hajra Rasmita, good morning, Professor. I have a question for you. What are the successful example of implementation for a green smart system in Japan? And what are the impacts of the implementation? Please, Professor.
So should I reply one by one? So I think in the beginning of my presentation, I introduced, we have published one book that also Putri covered with me. We are talking about the green city and green planning and practice in Asian cities. So I think in Japan, the green management system is recognized as the green technologies. And it has been introduced, I guess it's more than 20 years, like pre-habit housing and pre-habit buildings in Japan. And all the device of the in the building device is quite, I think they have many standards for the green buildings. And all the buildings should follow the green standards. And recently, the Minister of Economy, I don't know how to say the correct name of the ministry. And I mean, the Japanese government issue a policy that half of the newly built the building should be half of the newly built building should reach the standard of zero energy building. So I think it's quite anyway. I think it's very successful in Japan. So if you have chance to visit Japan, so probably can see all the new building is I think all the new building is a concept based on the green standards, particularly in the technology side. And also they have some the management system. But if you talk about the management system, so probably you like to say the building management system or the energy management system in Japan. So the building system management system originated started from the green technologies and managing the building device for the device management. But in this stage, as it's moved to the energy management systems for low carbon cities. So now probably you can call it a smart management system. Okay, that's not kind. I don't understand. I think maybe I didn't let you satisfy my question. But anyways, for in Japan, there's a lot of long years of practice for green technology and smart management already. And the policy now is quite serious about the zero energy housing, or zero energy house, zero energy building. So this is the first question I answered. About the second, regarding the use of the energy source when solar energy, how to anticipate to meet the sun. Is there a big? So actually, I think it's quite possible. The solar system cannot satisfy all the demand of energy consumption. And even the island that I present today, it is partially supported by the solar energy system. There should be lots of main source for energy, actually. So this kind of system, so the energy management system is important to keep the goal like the general housing possible in Japan. About the lighting, because we suggest a human sensor in the room, so in the building. So when people get close to the building and to the space, the lighting will turn on. Then this will be cut the energy consumption, half of the energy, half the consumption of the building. I think it's a very good device for using. It's very good for use the human sensor to control the lighting. But it's not really like to need to say it all the day, because when people leave the buildings, they just can turn off all the lighting, so it make more effective of the saving, energy saving. Sorry, so probably I answered this question already.
So maybe for question number one, yeah, there is a lot of successful implementation in Japan, such as Toyota City. They have an eco town. I remember we visited that for research.
Yeah.
Also, they are Yokohama project and Kyoto low carbon city. And they
Toyota.
Yeah, they consider so many things in a town, such as their transportation, where where they charge, where is the charging station. Also in the room, also they monitor all of the energy management system and control it in one place. And for a question number two, yeah, as Professor Sun explained, that it's not fully provided by the solar energy, because solar energy is not stable. There is a rainy day, something like that. That's why maybe in a presentation you consider also the wind energy, where the wind energy in an island may be more how to say, more high speed than and also it should be a backup sources, right, Professor? Like uninterrupted power systems, and there is a battery storage for switching this. I also want to ask you a question, since we still have 5 minutes more before the next keynote session. I want to ask a technical question, such as what software did you use, and how you, is it a mixed reality using by Oculus? Oculus is not mixed, virtual reality. I think HoloLens or something like that. And then I remember we discussed about how to visualize the air movement in the room. Are you also research about this?
Yes, only when you would study in Canada University, at that time you try to use HoloLens for making the on-site design supported by mixed reality. And now, as you know, the HoloLens, the device is no developed anymore, right? The Microsoft stopped the development. So we use the Metaverse product, Oculus, and the software for people accessing Oculus is possible to use the Unity program. So Unity have two options to visualize the design results. One is by the for collaboration via the internet. It's possible to use the WebGL. But anyway, it's one function of the Unity. And for access in the Unity, it just need some packages like plugin of the Unity, and we have to connect to ear link or the cable link between the Oculus device and the PC, and then we can access Unity the space, and then they can share the virtual reality with the participants from other space, from the different place. So I think only the Unity and Oculus is quite, how to say, it's not so expensive. I think it's also easy for all people, everybody, even individual researchers can start this kind of project. I always try to use cheap project to do some visualizing project for support public participation. So that's the reason is the device is cheap.
I also interested in how, let's say, in your presentation, the video you show us, there is we can access the actual room in reality with a virtual, and actually we can to take the object on the room, like what you show. Yeah, you saw, we can carry the table and also took the glasses. How to do that?
Yes, that's the we can develop the function by ourselves too. And also, I think the metaverse also provide some applications which can partially support the to mix the real object with the virtual, to matching the virtual object with the real object. For example, to define the table and also define the chairs, even design the screen of the computer, and share the whiteboard, and even make a presentation in the virtual reality. That means the real things can put inside virtual reality. They can how to say, matching them each other. Even it's a real object, but it could have different shape, different color, different material in the virtual reality, but the size and the touching and anyway, the voice can be mixed with the real and the virtual side.
Thank you so much, Professor Sen, such a beautiful and inspired presentation. I mean, we learned a lot that in the lab, the visualization project is move forward, I guess, since last time we are there. And here is the certificate of your keynote speaker. Yesterday, we saw it in the last session of the keynote speaker, but all the keynote speaker is already left the room. So now
thank you very much.
Presentation. Thank you so much, Professor Sen. I hope you are not bothered if we invite you for another conference or another scientific meeting. Thank you so much, Professor.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you.
Good morning. I think I should we should take picture with Professor Sen, with all of the participants. Please the host to record all of the participant, and the participant can show the camera on. We can take it. Maybe the host. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Once more. You ready? 1, Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Professor. See you again.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me. And welcome to Japan to visit our lab. We'll see you.
Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hendra. I will be a moderator for the next session. Our second keynote speaker is Dr. Engineering Muhammad Sani Roy Hansa, ST Master Engineering, IAP. Good morning, Dr. Sani.
Good morning, Dr. Hendra. Good morning. Thank you very much.
How do you do, sir?
Yeah, sir. Good. Thank you.
Okay.
And I hope all of you also in a good day. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sani. Before we start presentation from Dr. Sani, I want to share CV from Dr. Sani. I hope that the file can be seen. Okay. Our speaker is Dr. Engineering Muhammad Sani Roy Hansa, STMN. I hope that I pronounce
Perfect.
your name correctly. And Dr. Sani has married with Dr. Arta Fatmawati, PhD, and has 2 children. And now live in Seturan Baru, Yogyakarta, and working as a lecturer in architecture department Gadjah Mada University. And we also can see his educational background. He graduated undergraduate from Gadjah Mada University in 1995 and got his magister from Tohoku University in Japan in 2002 and doctoral degree from also Tohoku University in 2005. And also Dr. Sani has so many non-degree courses, also postdoctoral in Tohoku University, Kyushu University Japan, and Politecnico di Torino in Italy. And also exchange staff in University of Warsaw and Vrije University of Brussels. And also now Dr. Sani as a assessor in BAN PT and in LPDP reviewer. And there are so many organization experience from Dr. Sani. I thought that CV from Dr. Sani. And now Dr. will deliver presentation entitled Post-Pandemic Healthy City, Mainstreaming Ideas and Retrofitting Strategies. Very interesting presentation, I'm sure. And now time is your Dr. Sani.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Hendra. And would you like to give me access to share? Yeah. Okay. Ready. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Is my presentation visible for you?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, I'll start my presentation that entitled Post-Pandemic Healthy City Mainstreaming Ideas and Retrofitting Strategies, as Dr. Hendra explained before. And yeah, my name is Sani Roy Hansha from Universitas Gadjah Mada. I belong to the Department of Architecture and Planning, but my base is in urban and regional planning, Universitas Gadjah Mada. Yeah, why I take this title to present for this keynote speech, because yeah, all of us experience and have experienced with this event, but now we some of us start to forget it, because so many regulation to open mask, for example, and also to free your activities freer more than before. So it's also important for us in Indonesia, because we actually have several related ideas about a healthy city that started in 1990. Yeah, I hope I didn't mistake to ask this healthy city in Indonesia. Yeah, okay. Yeah, my presentation will be from introduction, learning from pandemic period. We will present several learning from pandemic period, and also I will connect this experience with healthy city movement in Indonesia, actually, or in the global world. Yeah. And after that, I will discuss post-pandemic city and post-pandemic strategies to deal with this healthy city. And after that, how healthy city should be retrofitted in the future. Yeah. From introduction, we can observe that now we should we should consider that our life cycle works, because we experience how the population increase, but when pandemic comes, that's will affected, and some of us dead and so on. And we also see that FUCA management and here should be faces by new innovation and cycle challenge or cycle management. FUCA is fatality, uncertainty, etc. I'm sure that all of you understand of this abbreviation. And contingency planning, we know that new pandemic era also give us several lessons that maybe in the new normal, in the pandemic era, all the standard is less used, and we should increase our standard, for example, physical distance, etc. And we also lessons that in pandemic era, we also reflect that some strategies should be implemented. And for example, how we communicate for others, for example, should be revisited again, because before pandemic or now, for example, we can intensively communicate with other without borders, but in pandemic era we should consider all the the boundaries of this communication. But unfortunately, I'm sure that many of us now started to forget this phenomena. So this time I would like to consider this presentation as a alert for us to learn again our 2 years pandemic experience. Yeah, if we know that historically we get experience like this because COVID-19 is not only one of the pandemic that hit our world, but before that we have Black Death or bubonic plague, yeah, for example, smallpox and also Spanish flu. But after that, we also forget it, and almost in 1 decade, we get our first experience in COVID-19. So actually, it's not new for us, but we should revisit again this historical track of our world. Yeah, and we also know that our life cycle is now works. Yeah, because if we see or observe this presentation, for example, in certain time we can get peak of this our population, but the pandemic, for example, or disaster, for example, can hit some time and maybe decreasing our population number. Yeah, and this also our experience about how the compact urbanization or compact city theory is also get the experience from the pandemic, because now we know that is it compactness is necessary for example, for facing this pandemic experience, or because so many cities now implemented or try to implement this compact city development, for example. Now we can see that how about the pandemic variables, for example. And yeah, I would like to penetrate again for this life cycle works, because so many dynamics experience for our life, for our world, for our urban and also region development get some phenomena, some events, for example, urbanization or smart city, as Professor Senjiang explained, and now we get the experience from the pandemic. And FUCA, in this case, we see that we can consider as the main future consideration, because of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity is quite blur for our future. But we also now we have disaster management cycle, from response, recovery, mitigation, and preparedness. How this disaster management cycle deal with FUCA? How to elaborate, how to collaborate this disaster management cycle within uncertainty, for example, within complexity and ambiguity. Yes. And of course, we also experience that almost our cities has no contingency plan. Yeah, that's also important for city development or urban development, or even in village development. Contingency plan is very important to prepare our worst condition when the planning the plan is running worse, for example. So this alternative thinking and risk sensitivity and disruption readiness is also very important in our daily life. Now we also experience about the personal space, yeah, for social interaction before the pandemic era. We know that now social space is for personal protection, yeah. At that time, for example, we have 1 meters for communication, but now it's very dangerous. For example, from WHO said that maybe longer than or farther than 1 meters to communicate each other, for example. This also change our habit, change our behavior. And of course, how to deal with this uncertainty, ambiguity, and volatility, because our experience in planning process is also us yeah, to prepare traditionally, define all upfront and deliver less implemented. But now we should also change to for example, backcasting, because how the future we imagine, we have vision. Now define this first, and then back to the previous time. Now, for example, to prepare this. This is also important to us to get several critical thinking and creative and innovative effort for the future. And we also get several moment of back to basic, for example, how the pandemic also asks us to back to basic, to provide our community as complete as possible. Yeah, because we know that lockdown, we experienced several times in lockdown, for example, but many region, many cities, or many districts cannot access the daily needs, yeah, because they don't have, for example, any shops inside. Yeah, so we can see this as our challenge to complete or to define in the future planning. And for example, the density, is it density affect our spreading of virus or not? For example, this also our experience to more research in this aspect, because density, sometimes people say that density is good, but in the period of pandemic, we know that density is poisonous, yeah, for example. Yeah, and we also get several experience to not the pembangunan berkelanjutan, but sustainable development. Here from many corners, yeah, from resilient, from inclusive, from smart. For example, each ministry has a special or specific program to get towards sustainable development. From example in Indonesia, yeah, from creative or Ministry of Creative and Tourism, for example, will approach sustainable development from creative perspective. And from Ministry of Information, for example, they announce several programs in smart city, for example. That's not wrong, but we know that a period of pandemic give us to more focus on the healthy aspect. So not only Ministry of Health, but also supported by other ministry. Yeah, healthy city itself, we discussed from 10 years ago or 13 years ago by WHO, but we know that the healthy city for all is also completed by several aspects, almost all aspects in daily life, not only in individual aspect, but also in regional aspect. Yeah, from the lifestyle to the global ecosystem, as we see in the presentation here. And from the healthy cities indicators, also very related to sustainable development goals. Yeah, we know that there is a 17 sustainable development goals, and each development or its indicators in sustainable development goals has relation with the healthy city indicators, as we can see from DLU 2020. Yeah, so many cities now getting start to hold several innovation. From example in bike sharing, in how to change several district inside the city to get more activities to help the increasing indicators of the health. And yeah, that's also my hobby, running. So many cities now also open or hold the activities, hold event in running or bike or cycling. Yeah, we know that so many cities, and it's also a relation with our discussion today. But we also should consider that the not easy to get the ideal well-being in the city, because it started from a basic infrastructure, basic needs of the facility itself, towards potential of lifelong learning for the individual. That's a complex system, but we know that in Indonesia, the government still limited in urban governance in the second step from the bottom. Yeah, we know that. So we can evaluate our healthy cities program, for example, in Indonesia. Why Sabah Vista award is not effective to deal with our indicators in healthiness, for example. Yeah, Swasti Sabah in Indonesian case, we this so long programs, and I think more than 10 years program, but we know that Indonesian government awards in health environment, it's only focused on the district, and each year, for example, every year the government will assess your area, for example. Yeah, because there is a rank in Swasti Sabah, also in the first rank, second rank, and third rank. Third rank, for example, can complete the healthy activities in seven assessment, seven indicators here. But for the first rank is only 3, for example: infrastructure and public facilities, industrial and office, and tourism, for example. Yeah, we can see that here the assessment is not touch the individual aspect. Yeah, so personal performance is not assessed by this government award. Yeah. However, the healthy city itself should consider from the individual, from the individual enlarge to the culture or lifestyle, and then broad to the region. So this also important how our research in healthy city also compared and measuring individual performance towards healthy city itself. Yeah, because we sure that we are sure that the individual performance can support or can coin to the yeah broader performance of the city or regions. Yeah. This also socio-ecological model of healthy city, not only natural environment, but should be started from the individual lifestyle. So when the individual lifestyle activities, for example, cannot meet with the natural environment itself, so it's very difficult to achieve the healthy city index or healthy city indicators. So from the individual level to the macro level, this from WHO and also several researchers research in this elements. But in Indonesia or the researcher only focus on for example meso level, micro level, and individual level. How to relate from the individual level to macro level, it's still a lack of this focus. Yeah, we also maybe learn before in our schools. Yeah, that's the healthiness or health is compromise promotion, prevention, treatment, and recovery. So this activity also should be considered as the element of activity to reach healthy city. What about our experience? So we should back to our experience because we experience in pandemic urbanism, and we now to prepare, yeah, to provide how to deal with post-pandemic urbanism. We or I propose, because man space and activity is important in our built environment theory. So I choose this spatial form, human behavior, and spatial activities. These three aspects of man, space, and activity. Man is a human behavior and characteristic of the human itself, and space is a spatial form, and activities as special activities. Here we'll explain in detail. Yeah. So we experience in pandemic urbanism how to reinterpret this pandemic urbanism, and how we interpret or investigate a new life in pandemic urbanism. There's two framework that should be provided towards retrofitting in planning development. Yeah. So one by one, I will explain fast, yeah, but maybe yeah, the conference can learn by PPT directly, but now we explain that in the form, yeah, for example, there is a questionable density, manageable size, and controllable access and behavior from the pandemic urbanism. We experience both whatever from home, delivery method, and virtual activities or virtual behavior. And from the activities itself, we also experience transport mode choice, spatial independency, and adjustable facilities. we need adjustable facilities as soon as possible, from the school to the hospital, for example, or from school to the isolation facilities, for example. So that's one by one. I want to compile from the internet. Yeah, the how the ideas of work from home and the idea of everything virtual. Yeah, because now we experience it day by day in the pandemic period. And also delivery matters. Also personal space gets a strong guarantee, delivery service increases, competition, quality, price, or speed of order delivery service. And from this partial from interpretation, again, there is a questionable density. Question for high density, high effect from density for micro meso scale. Yeah. And also term for internal density versus external density. And from the spatial from interpretation, we also experience about needs of manageable size of the district, ideal complete neighborhood size. Yeah, is it true to be back to traditional neighborhood development, for example, and also term of spatial context or characteristic. And in this term also spatial from interpretation, we know that there is increasing needs of controllable access, increased accessible control, urban surveillance improvement, and also spatial control based on community. We experienced it during the pandemic. And from the spatial activities, now we should aware about transport mode choice, because public transport limitation and increased choice for public transport. Yeah, for individual transport. Challenge for sustainable transport strategy, because during pandemic we know that the public transport is decreasing in usage. And it's adjustable facilities, needs for special function change. Yeah, adjustable co-working space, for example, and high demand for flexible transportation of spaces. And from the spatial activities, we also learn about spatial independencies, decreasing dichotomy of local global. There is no door or window for this differentiate local and global, because what happened in London, for example, also happened in Jakarta or in Palu. Also increasing dichotomy of urban rural. Yeah, what happened in urban also happened in village. So we should investigate how to deal with new life or post-pandemic urbanism. So this we again discussing this, because maybe several strategies also will be seen here. For example, from challenging behavior from home range, virtual hybrid, and also home-based enterprise. Okay, we can see possibly. And from example, behavior investigation, back to first place. Yeah, home-based enterprise will increase. Yeah, because now we also sure that so many small industrial scales activities also happen or emerge based on the home. Yeah, enterprise innovation of whatever from home. Yeah, whatever from home, not whatever from school, not whatever from home can be reached in a better performance. Increasing criteria or standard for home settlement. Yeah, because now so many people during pandemic also reconstruct or renovate their homes. Yeah, to deal with activity during pandemic. Improvement of mixed zone, for example. Now we also still virtual yet hybrid. Yeah, because now we how to provide a hybrid space, behavioral adaptation for existing spaces, because so many regulation should deal with our existing spaces. Also increasing passive interaction, decreasing active direct interaction, and change of spatial standards. And yeah, we know that back to home range, yeah, because based on home-based enterprise, we also should redefine location criteria, home range, home zone, and proximity as the attributes, and for environment completeness, as I explained before, and health attributes before more important in spatial elements and system. And this also related to the density, needs of clearer definition of optimal density. Is it high density is really matter for our healthiness, for our future development, or needs of healthy higher density? We should research more in healthy higher density. And what about the space reinvestigation? Yeah, we need clear boundary delineation. For example, strengthening kampung, for example, village, city, redefinition of optimal size, and clearer delineation of buffer zone. Because so many cities during pandemic also use this buffer zone to decrease or to combat the spreading of the virus. And also defensible access, integrated of controllable access, and urgencies for community-led control. For example, we also should strengthen the community action in the area, like Chonika and Matsuzukuri in Japan, for example. And also urgency of smart transport, smart and sustainable transport as important agenda. How to deal with, for example, when virus spreading and the people still need the public transport, how to deal with this phenomena, and so many alternatives of transit form with additional attributes. And the other activities investigation is about flexible facilities with new standard, because now maybe people can build the school, but the other standard, how to ability of this school to change, yeah, when several disaster or several event happen, yeah, in the future, in uncertainty yeah, approach, yeah, for example, location access with high flexibility as core consideration. And spatial interaction, we know that synchronic integration in intra-region and inter-region, and so we know also how to minimalize urban activities but maximize rural activities. And how about the retrofitting ideas? Because we have so many problems before, and how to deal with existing problems added by the new approach of the new life post-pandemic healthy city. Yeah, for example, segmentation or rescaling of the city size. So compact cities, not only compact cities, but how to deal with compact healthy city, for example. So additional attributes to the healthiness is also very important in the future. And this also description about the process of how to deal with planning for healthy cities, for the lifestyle, from the individual activities to the health protection in citywide strategic scope. So it's needs a collaborative scope of health activities in hierarchical stage. Yeah, for example, how the stakeholders to deal with the promotion in the individual scale. For example, how to deal with promotion in the wider scale. Yeah, for example, district or city, etc. And also integrated new concept for area development. For example, we can complete add several facilities, to reach completeness inside the district. For example, one healthy kampung for all. For example, we can plan inside kampung, etc. And it's also new approach for activity. For example, now Indonesia also so many universities, so many higher education also promoting university promoting school, yeah, or health promoting university in several campus in Indonesia. That's also important. But how to elaborate this very wide the activities to reach the not only the management itself, but also from the individual performance to the wider performance. So we get in the final keynotes. Sorry, currently the urban life cycle is in progress, yeah, or works to obtain a new steady state or repeating history in the order of environmental life on Earth through pandemic events, yeah. And crisis time urbanism from spreading until decreasing number of cases is the response recovery period in the disaster management cycle. We know that the short term pandemic, it is also temporary and short medium term in planning cycle. So recovery period urbanism, we know because started from last year, we begin to prepare the recovery period. So it's a period of recovery, mitigation, and will require medium long time. So it's also us to consider what kind of standard, what kind of additional attributes, what kind of additional perspective to develop our built environment. Due to the short or temporary period, it is necessary to reinterpret the phenomena that have occurred today. Meanwhile, to prepare for a longer period, reinvestigation of various alternatives needs to be carried out carefully, including accommodation of contingency plan. So contingency plan is our homework to be prepared or to be provided in our daily planning activities. Healthy city is one of the entrances to the activity because we know that a smart city or green city or creative city can also as a window or also door to achievement of sustainable development. But now is it a momentum for healthy city become contextual in this case? Retrofitting with the theme of healthy city or region will be appropriate for our new normal life strategy in communities, cities, or region level. Of course, this needs to be carefully planned immediately and at various levels with the involvement of various actors and stakeholders. The development of healthy city, which so far still seem not comprehensive in Indonesia, mainly both horizontally between sectors. Yeah, we know that, and vertically from individuals to the ecosystem where they live, can be linked to a better arrangement of post-pandemic urban life with a focus on spatial form, human behavior, and activities related to the environment. Back to man, space, and activity relationship. That's all. Thank you very much for your attention. Sorry for a longer time to present it, and thank you very much. See you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sani, for your very interesting research. I found many interesting ideas on your presentation, like you mentioned about home-based enterprise, and also before pandemic, we have to work from office. Now after pandemic, not only work from home, but now we can do whatever from home.
Yeah.
And also you mentioned about healthy city indicators, and in the top level of healthy city, high quality healthy cities, both achieve full potential, public art, and lifelong learning. And maybe about strategies minimal urbanism and maximal ruralism, maybe transmigrasi ya. And also you you say that we have to focus on spatial form, human behavior, and environment-friendly activities. And Swasti Sabha maybe consists of 7 aspects, but maybe I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I only see 6 aspects on it. Maybe I missed something. And we have had same hobby, running, but the difference is maybe Dr. Sani, your hobby running around Graha Sabha Pramana, but my hobby is running from reality. So same but a little bit different. Maybe we can discuss more about your interesting research. We move to key question and answer session. For the first chance, we have Mrs. Putri, which is the chairman of this conference. She asked me directly and tell me that she wants to discuss with you, Dr. Sani, directly. Mrs. Putri, time is yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hendra. Hello, Professor Sani. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Bu Putri. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you, Professor Sani. It's a very inspiring presentation. So I just imagine that how to say, in the future, how should our city looks like, something like that. So after the pandemic, like you saw in your presentation, that we should distance ourselves. But I found such interesting concept like social bond. So in one family, maybe we can gather together, or we have a best friends, 5 best friends, we can gather together in such an intimate, close distance. What actually concerned me, maybe for a healthy city, sometimes, like this pandemic, we have to distance ourselves. It's contradicted with our social culture, I guess. So Indonesia is such a intimate people and care for each other, and it's also a concern now because of technology. We are running far away together. We sit side by side, but we just read our handphone. And I want to ask, whether if your concept like the first is individual lifestyle and individual determinant, something like that, will have an impact like just saving yourself first, something like that. I don't care about the other one, another one.
Yeah.
Like that. So I want to ask about what's your opinion about.
Yeah, thank you, Bu Putri, for the question. Yeah, of course, there is so many relationship in your question, because we have observed how the Swasti Sabha assessment of the Swasti Sabha, because there's from the indicators that maybe secondary data that collect in our city, in our local. So people sometimes know that the assessment will be done in for example in next week. Yeah, so people started to to clean the roads, to clean the schools, etc. Because in Swasti Sabah, they also certain places that where the people assessor will come and have assessment there. So that's also compared to the secondary data. For example, number of health facilities compared to the population, for example, is it enough or no? Only that, yeah. So why I consider, why I also get interest with this individual performance should be started in our assessment, for example, because when in almost 4 years ago, before the pandemic, I have assessment or evaluation of the from our now like Kedai Reka, but at that time in the national strategic research, and at that time we assume that people in the area, the performance of the area, health performance of the area, actually were not covered in the healthy status. So for example, when we take a cooperation with the Faculty of Medicine in this research, we measuring by certain method, we measuring almost 300 peoples, persons in the area, in the certain area that we focus on. And at the time, there is several findings that because people or the government data say that the facility is okay, but when we consider the individual performance, they get so many diseases. For example, from the pulmonary, and also the habit of smoking habit, for example, and so many findings. At that time, we are sure that the healthy cities movement should be started from the how the government consider the level performance, the healthy performance level of the individual in individual. So that's also now we consider and make a brief policy, and also compile these findings to propose to the Ministry of Health. And that's the first finding. And the second finding is of course our movement about sport movement, and also how in social activity we with our friends, with our families, with our relatives, also now started to make a movement to good lifestyle, healthy lifestyle. That's so many, and pandemic actually we know that pandemic also get the effect for this movement. And in my opinion is the government, or we all cannot forget this or should accept this movement, and elaborate in our planning or in our design to the city, for example, because so many people now started to running, to started to cycling or together with Nordic stick, they walking. So how to deal with needs of these running people and also cycling in the city, for example, not no need to get or to go to outside the city. How to provide their needs inside the city. It's also good effort for us as a planner, as a designer, to also think this movement. That's my opinion, and this should change our perspective in the future of our city, because for this example, maybe the transport, the individual transport should be decreased consequently, because they change the ability, the lifestyle to for example, to cycling, etc. That's my opinion, but this should be supported by regulation from the government or from our side as the university or partner of the government to research or to focus on this subject. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much for your answer. I think I should give that to the Mr. Hendra Setiawan. Thank you so much, Professor.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Putri. We have one more question in the column, and this is interesting. Mrs. Nuzur Rahmanina said that the question is from Mrs. Andijiba. So originally this is from Mrs. Andijiba. Is this research able to solve the problem of waste production in urban areas, which is usually requires other areas as shelters, which have a negative impact?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. But actually, not only, I think not only healthy city, not only green city, but the waste, urban waste is really our problems now. Because we produce so many garbage, so many waste in our daily life, and we don't know how to process and how to elaborate this as our usage, because when we consider it as the daily problem, actually this research not only focus on this garbage, but from the hierarchy of individual and also environment, district level, when the lifestyle, the healthy lifestyle is consists of not only in individual level, but also each individual can cooperate to think about how to solve the problem of waste production. This also maybe garbage bank, bank sampah. We know that this also decision from the community itself, to develop a bank sampah or garbage bank, and waste bank, and we also focus not only this, but by the usage, the hierarchy of the healthy lifestyle, or for example the promotion, because we know that promotion, prevention, and also treatment and recovery, it's now those aspects is consists inside this research or the focus. So when the promotion is successfully done, people can reduce the waste production, for example, and when people cannot limited the waste production itself, how to recover, how to treat this waste production. It's also the sequence of our activities in promotion, prevention, treatment, and also recovery. That's my question. I think not answer the question, but we can consider it as our future activities. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sani, for your answer to Mrs. Andi Giba. And maybe because our time is limited, that bring us to the end of this session.
Thank you.
And, Dr. Sani, for your time and knowledge. On behalf of the committee, I want to offer respectfully the certificate as a keynote speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the certificate and also inviting me in this conference. Thank you and see you, and let's get collaborate or make something together in the future. Thank you very much.
I guess so. This is not our last collaboration, but we can continue in the next conference. Also, maybe collaboration in research in the future. And the host will take our picture together. So I please for all participants to turn on your camera. The host ready, you can take our picture. One more. Okay, thank you very much for the all participants. Once again, Dr. Sani, thank you very much for your time. And I will.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Di session with Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Hendra, and see you again. Yeah, thank you.
I have a friend from architectural department, maybe Mr. Deva.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Together, what do you call Prajabatan?
Oh, yeah.
Leman, maybe 22 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr.
Yeah, thank you very much. I will tell Pak Deva. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. We are now in the third keynote session of today's conference. First of all, please let me introduce myself. My name is Adnan Fajar. I am moderator of this keynote speech today. I will go through our keynote speaker curriculum today, but I have to remind you that due to the time limitation, I'm probably not going to every item in the CV. So let me start for the personal data. The presenter, the speaker today's name is Andrew Agustin. He was born in Ujung Pandang, March the 3rd, 1971. And he's a member of quite number of organizations, to name a few: Indonesian Association of Hydraulic Engineers, Indonesian Association of Port Planners, Indonesian Engineering Association, Indonesian Association of Sanitary Engineers and Environmental Engineers, Indonesian Association of Coastal Engineering, and the Institution of Engineer Indonesia, or you might be familiar with PII, and he also a member of Forum of Indonesian Engineering Deal. He's a polyglot. Polyglot means he speaks many languages. Of course, he speaks Indonesian. It's his mother tongue. And also he commands a good English. And also he speaks a little bit of Japanese. Dr. Andrew Agustin is graduated from Maritime Engineering of Environmental Fluid Dynamic, Kyushu University in 2009, November. He received his doctorate in doctor engineering from that university. He also held a Master of Science from Coastal Engineering and Port Development, UNESCO IHE in Netherlands in 2005. He also received a Master of Engineering from Institute of Technology Bandung in 2000. And as for the professional engineer, he held a professional engineer, which is commonly known as Insinyur, from program of Tadulako University in 2021. I just have a chat with him before, and he's got he was the first student in professional engineer in Tadulako. He also had a bachelor degree, or commonly named or commonly called Sarjana Teknik, from Department of Civil Engineering in Hasanuddin in Indonesia in 1966. And apart from them, I should also probably mention he did some postdoctoral study. For example, he did in Ghent University in Belgium in 2015, and he also did some postdoctoral work in the University of Mississippi in the United States of America in 2015. And then from his CV, I can see he's a quite busy person, professionally and academically. So I cannot go through with all the details because there's so many activities he did during his career. One of this is training of port assessor for competence of construction worker, which is done by Ministry of Public Works Indonesia in 2016. And then he received award as a best paper in 35th annual scientific meeting Indonesian Association of Hydraulic Engineer in 2018 in Medan, Indonesia. Next, he also did some course as a researcher on community-based hazard and risk assessment for spatial planning in Eastern Indonesia, which is done by, sponsored by Nufik Neso, Twente University and Samratulangi into university in 2012. He also attended a seminar on human rights and global democracy movement. He's a scholar from Fulbright Department of State University at Atlanta, USA in 2011. And also in 2004, he attended the International Dredging Seminar in the Netherlands, in Delft University. And his research experience, some of the research I highlighted here is regarding the drinking water quality monitoring and surveillance in Central Sulawesi, especially after the earthquake. And also he did some work on risk hazard assessment of tropical cyclone in K and Aru Island in Indonesia in 2000, during 2017 until 2019. And also he did some important work in the University of Mississippi, USA in 2000, between 2011 and 2014. He was a principal investigator in computational water level rise by hurricane Center for Computational Hydroscience Engineering, University of Mississippi, United States of America. He also did some research project on the coupling of Boschinic wave driver in the Netherlands in 2004 and 2005. The latest publication, he did some publication in the effect and height of width of submerged breakwater on the transmission coefficient in presented in the Medan, Indonesia. He did also some consultation work as a coastal structure engineer. And for today's talk, he is going to give to shed some light on drinking water quality assessment after earthquake disaster in Central Sulawesi province. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our distinguished speaker today, Dr. Andi Rusdi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Dr. Committee, can you show the presentation? This research is about water quality, but we call it drinking water because all of water resource in around Palu, Donggala, and Sigi are used not only for daily life, but also for drinking water. So the assessment has done after the earthquake. Soon after the earthquake, we did some assessment by observing some water sample, firstly by ourselves personally with some friends. We have idea to do some water quality assessment, but after about 3 weeks, we got support from World Health Organization. So this presentation will explain the result of the assessment. This assessment, I think, just second time I presented, so I didn't have a chance to present it. So I want to thank the committee that give me time to present this research. The background that all of us already know that after the earthquake, followed by tsunami and infection, we are affected from the disaster. I think our daily life or our life is stopped because we haven't get such kind of the disaster, big disaster. Everything I think is very difficult during that time. And also because the disaster, earthquake and tsunami, also liquefaction, there is some environmental change. not only our city, our village, and the building and our house are damaged, but also some resource, not only but other things regarding to
Yoga.
But for deliver water to the reservoir, there is many kind of method. Some method like using racks and pipe, and also pumping, and some irrigation channel. People use irrigation channel for drinking water, because sometimes the channel just in front their house, so it's very easy to them to get the water. And also borehole, yeah, borehole. And this the kind of the water source. And the step of monitoring, we used to phase or stages in this experiment. Firstly, stages directly after the earthquake, because after the earthquake, people go to the shelter, not to the house. So people just go to the shelter and then stay there, and then quite difficult to get water. So water can sometimes delivered by government or NGO, and also volunteers, and then put it in the reservoir or a tank. And the quality of the water is not controlled, because people want to get water directly, because maybe they want to use it for the bath, for drinking, or for cooking food. So this is needed directly, and the source are not controlled. And phase two, after people stay in the shelter, government build some temporary settlement, and people move to the temporary settlement. This is better than the shelter, because the temporary settlement already provide water reserve, mostly by borehole, deep borehole. So the water can be controlled better than water in the shelter. So the period for the monitoring also different. The period for the phase one from November to December 2018, with 67 location of water resource. And the resource also vary, because in the shelter, the people just use it, the nearest water source during that time. But for the phase two, mostly people use water from deep borehole. Deep borehole. This is the location for phase one. For phase one, the area covered from Sirenja until Banawa. One area also in the Sigi Regency in Biromaro, and the number of location is 67. And every 3 days we should take the sample and put it to the laboratory. And the Tompe is far from here. Yeah, I think the farthest location. Why we choose this location? Because this location are affected by the earthquake. Some area do not affected very hard. Only Sirenja, because Sirenja is the location of epicentrum. This is some result. Research. Firstly, we saw the E. coli, and then we can see the type of the resource. And this is the Sirenja area. There's about 6 location. 6 location. We take this sample in 6 location and bring it to the laboratory within 3 hours. So in 3 hours, the sample should arrive in the laboratory, and every week you should do it. And then you see, because most of the water reserve are water surface. Water surface are contaminated by bacteria, by the E. coli and coliform. And we did once a week. Once you can see the time quite small. So the vertical direction means the time, and the horizontal are the location of the water resource. And this one in the Labuan quite better than Sirenja. And we did it the test 1 in 3 days. Every 3 days we take the sample, and we do it in 2 months. And in Taman Topea, we also have 3 locations, and we can see that most water resources are contaminated by bacteria. And laboratory we use for this these tests are laboratory of the health polytechnic, because there is only one laboratory available during the earthquake. And in Tawali, we have many locations, and because very close to the laboratory location, also we did it every 3 days. And most the result for the bacteria contamination is always have E. coli, so not fulfill the standard. The red means that not fulfill the standard. Green is okay, because fulfill the standard. And if you see white color, it means we do not take sample during that time. This is in Manticolore, near to our university, and mostly also water surface and tandon, and also not good for bacteria. So most water resources are contaminated from bacteria. And in Petobo, see, Palu, South Palu, Petobo, also we got some result, and most of the resource are from water tank, tower with water tank. So also contaminated, because we don't know if the water are come from good resource, good source, because this water are delivered by truck. So we don't know if the water quality already examined or not. In Tatanga also we have some water source, and similar with other location, because this is in shelter, so the quality are not controlled. So most of the water are contaminated by bacteria. In Uljadi, because the location are too far, quite far from the laboratory, we just did 1 times in 1 location, and about 4 times in 4 times for all location. And this is quite better, because only 1 times. We don't know after the testing, the quality is become better or not. And then also in Banawa also we do it 2 times, because quite far, Banawa, and then we take it the sample from Banawa and bring to the Mamboro within 3 hours. So 3 hours, you should the sample should arrive in the laboratory. And Biromaro also, have some borehole, but the water are put in the tank tower with tank, and this we can see that the some example are fulfill the water standard. For physical and chemical parameter, because we have 25 parameter, most of the parameter are good, yeah, because the parameter are good, and only aluminum, the three kinds of parameter that not fulfill the standard. One is aluminum, and then fluoride and TDS. TDS is total dissolved solid. Yeah, total dissolved solid. That two kinds, and this is not a big problem, I think, because it's easily to test again, because because we only just did the experiment for the physical parameter, physical and chemical, only one times, and only one every location that has chemical and physical. So chemical, I think you see the aluminum, TDS, and fluoride. Also in Sigirtian, Baru, also same aluminum and fluoride. The potential risk to the water resource for the chemical, 49 water source are meet the standard, and then 18.2 is a TDS, yeah, and then aluminum quite big, 38.1%, and the last is the fluoride. And potential risk, because some water source are polluted, we got very high risk. Yeah, it's mean that water is not good to consume, and medium risk you can find about 50%. And the lowest is we also have very high 7.5%, and the lowest risk is only 9%. And then the second stage, phase two, mostly water are taken from the temporary shelter. Temporary shelter in Indonesia, we call it hunian sementara. But now people already moved to the hunian tetap. And this sample are taken in the temporary settlement, because the temporary settlement already equipped with the water source. Yeah, mainly are borehole, deep borehole. You can see we also did the test 2 months, and most the color is green. It mean the biological standard are meet the standard. Only some or only very small number of the water location are contaminated by bacteria. And this is, you can see also from the January to February, most of the water source are meet the water drinking standard. For the chemical and physical parameter, only two are not fulfilled the standard, only two location, but the pollutant is fluoride. Yeah, fluoride, I think is, we should try to test it again, because this is only one time. At least if we want to get good representation of the water quality, we should do it 3 times. And we see that the borehole give quite good standard for drinking water. So the potentially direct, we use the potentially. The risk of the water is mostly are medium. This standard are or potential are used for drinking water, and low risk only 20%. So mostly the condition are give risk for our health. We arrive to the conclusion. The conclusion, most of the surface water examples were high contaminated with E. coli and coliform, while the borehole were commonly safe from microbial contamination. But these samples are taken directly after pumping, not to the reservoir or water tank. Maybe if we test it in the water tank, we got also E. coli and coliform. Mostly for chemical and physical parameter, water source are contaminated by aluminum, fluoride, and TDS, total dissolved sediment, especially during the rainy season like this time. And borehole can be good alternative for water source, but quite expensive, especially for construct the well and also to produce water because we need electricity to run the pump. But the quality are good just after the water go out from the borehole, not in the reservoir. And we have recommendation, water source must be protected, and regularly provide maintenance. Like our reservoir in our house, we need to protect it. Maybe will be animal go around the water source, and then maybe it can contaminate the water. And also for E. coli, because E. coli is easily to dismiss, yeah, using chloride. But if you want to use chloride, you should use the standard because chloride is danger chemical matter. So there is a tight rule about how to use the chloride. And the last is explore any potential hazard or pollution and determine solution to prevent. Like we have, because we have many mining around the Palu, maybe you should consider the potential or contamination of the water. During our tests, especially for water resource from drinking water company, there is safe but from mercury and cyanide. Thank you very much. This is my presentation. If there is some question, maybe we can discuss quite longer because we still have time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Andrustin, for shedding some light on drinking water quality assessment for after earthquake. I think this is very important and we as inhabitants who live in Palu, we are very related to this issue. I mean, we drink water every day, and then this is shedding some light how we can overcome this problem in the future. So if there's any question from the audience from this room, you can raise up your hands. Or question from the Zoom chat room, is there any? Okay, we have a question here from Yuli. How about the continuity of this research considering the condition of the people who have moved to permanent housing with groundwater sources from pump or borehole?
Because we only did research two stages. Stage one directly after the earthquake, and the second is about 3 months or 2 months after government already established temporary settlement, or we call it Indonesia Hunian Sementara. And we found that when the people move to the temporary settlement, the water quality become better. And now people already move to the permanent settlement or hunian tetap, we call it in Indonesia, and responsible to provide drinking water to the people and community in that housing are from city government, city government and agency government. And then because the responsible are from city government, municipality, so the responsible for the water is done by PDAM or drinking water company. And the drinking water company already have regulation. They have regulation about how many times they should do water test to control the quality, and they also already have a laboratory to control their quality. Also, they have many water treatment plan for make it the water with the standard of the Ministry of Health. I think I think because government also still build a new permanent settlement, the government also provide a water source for that house, and then there is a regulation that every drinking water should be regulated, should be controlled by the quality. I think that's my answer. Maybe there's
Any
another.
more question from the audience, please? Okay, Dr. Randanusin, it's very interesting subject because I really want to know what was the cause of the contamination. Was it because of the people habit mostly, or was it because the facility was enough to provide the healthy access to the water, drinking water at the time?
Yeah, there is many possible hazard or contaminated, but especially the surface water and the spring, because there is naturally we can get the water. The water do not protect it. For example, there is no fence, no institution responsible for that kind of water source. And also in some spring, the responsible to protect and control and use the water mostly come from the local people. And then local people, I think, do not have enough knowledge about the water quality. But we should advise the people, especially if they use water directly from the natural resource without any treatment, we should boil the water firstly, because this is very easily to reduce the bacteria from the water.
Thank you very much. I think that's very interesting because, as you know, most of us live in Palu City, which is a city prone to disaster. Not that I hope that it will happen anytime soon, but if it happens in the future, are we ready to overcome this contamination problem? Do we have any regulation in place from the local government or any facility to treat the water before the people drinking it?
For the water that provided by drinking water company, they have water treatment plant. And then now government also, after the earthquake, very consider about how to uh, give water to the people, and then already have some plan to build or make a new water drinking system. And then there is initiated by the central government, and we hope that it can be implemented. And also there's a collaboration between level of government, because if the water source come from the river, it should be responsible from the uh, central government. And then for the installation system or pipe system are the responsible for the city or agency. And there is should be a collaboration with national government or central government with the local government, province government, and the city and agency government.
Thank you. So, yes, very interesting. As you mentioned before that we should boil the water before drinking. You may know that in some developed country, you just turn on the tap and drink the water directly from tap. I think we cannot do that at the moment in Palu. Yeah?
Not only Palu, but Indonesia also.
Yes. Any more question or from the audience or the chat room? Yes, we have a second question in the chat room. What is your opinion about illegal well which have been done by people in Indonesia which may cause the ground settlement?
There is thank you for the question. I think very interesting question from the chairman. We know that right now the quantity of drinking water is not enough, and we don't have a good distribution system, especially maybe in Palu City. But not only the problem in Palu City, but most city in Indonesia have a drinking water distribution system. And because the government, I think because maybe the city is developed more rapidly than the ability of the government to facilitate the drinking water distribution and within number and the quality. So people try by themselves to find water source, especially by doing or make borehole, because there is the most easier to get the water with good quality. But actually, to make borehole or water well, especially deep well, it is we will have some impact. But in Palu, because we are most of us are living in the high area, the hill area, we do not effective. The effect is if you try to find or to get water from groundwater, the surface of the ground will be decreased. The problem already took place in Jakarta, especially in north of Jakarta, already decreased about 5 meters. Also in Semarang also. And if the decreasing become higher, maybe 10 meters, I think it's quite difficult to make a coastal defense because quite high. And also for some city, they have regulation, especially if the water will be used by industrial or some company, because they will pump water from groundwater, I think not in the small amount. So it should be regulated. They should have permission from the city government or agency government. What we don't know if the Palu already have regulation about that. But most of our want no regulation because it will be difficult for us if there's a regulation for make a deep well or borehole well.
Thank you, Dr. Aniruddin. Any more question from the audience? You can ask directly. Okay. I think if there's no question anymore, then we should conclude the speech by Dr. Aniruddin and give him some applause for his nice talk. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Moderator.
On behalf of the organizer, we thank you, Dr. Aniruddin, for presenting your speech. This is our appreciation as a keynote speaker certificate from the organizer. As you already know that we are now living in the digital time, then we also have a digital version of the certificate. Also, we have the print version of the certificate. I invite the chairman to present the certificate to our distinguished keynote speaker today, Dr. Aniruddin. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Tes. Baik, Bapak Ibu yang hadir di ruangan ini, kami persilakan untuk menyantap makan siang. Dan untuk materi keynote speaker selanjutnya di jam 13.00 dengan Prof. Brian Pai. Jadi untuk Bapak Ibu yang mau sholat juga ada di musola di Satika. Dan yang mau makan siang kami persilahkan. Lalu pengumuman untuk autor yang hadir pada siang hari ini. Untuk roomnya, jadi room 1 dan room 2 itu berada di ballroom. Dan untuk ruangan 3 dan 4 berada di lantai 2. Jadi untuk host dan moderator kami infokan untuk room 1 dan 2 berada di ballroom dan untuk ruangan room 3 dan 4 berada di lantai 2. Terima kasih. Untuk host dan moderator yang punya autor secara online dan Zoom itu juga disediakan. Jadi nanti host tolong mencek kembali autor-autor yang menggunakan via online, dipersilakan untuk mengambil kode Zoom dengan Ibu Hajra. Ya, jadi nanti mengkondisikan autornya diinfokan untuk bisa menyesuaikan sekaligus pelaksanaan offline dan online dalam satu ruangan. Terima kasih.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. For the Zoom meeting participants, we will have a break for a lunch break, and we'll be back at 1 p.m. GMT 8. So please stay tuned and come back for your destination room for the Zoom meeting. Thank you so much. Kayak
Oh, ini mau presentasi. Saya mau presentasi. Baru kalau iya di mana? Di mana? Udah boleh bilang di room 1. Bangga saya. Laki-laki. Takut. Jangan dikit. Sini, duduk. Gubernur saya tidak tahu. Gubernur saya tidak tahu. Tidak. Nanti presentasi enggak?
Halo, Professor Pai. Welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Good afternoon,
Can you hear
Professor.
me? Hello, Putali.
Hello, Professor Pai. How are
Oh,
you?
Professor Putali. Fine. As you can see,
Yes,
I'm on a train.
we
Yeah.
will start the session in 6 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, and we will play your video first, and then
Mhm.
if it might possible, you'll join the discussion. Is it okay for you?
Mhm. Yeah, of course. Okay.
Okay, so you will be
So,
moderated by Rifai. I'm
very fine.
yes,
Very,
I'm
very
sorry.
fine.
Okay.
Hello, Professor.
Oh, hello, very fine. How's it going?
Everything good.
Everything okay?
But
Wow.
this is the second quarter of this year, so everybody quite busy. But we
Oh,
hope
okay.
we can manage
So,
everything.
wow, really fine. You become handsome.
Long time not see you, Professor.
Yes, 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 yes. You have very beautiful beard.
Yeah. I hear from Putri that you are traveling.
Yes, yes, yes. Sorry for now. I'm rush for another meeting later at 2:30, 14 seconds,
uh,
40:30. So that yeah, I have to jump from Hsinchu to Taipei by train. Yes. Am I okay? Clear? The sound clear?
uh, your voice is not very clear, but we can see the picture, your video.
Okay. So later on, you will moderate this section. Later on, you will moderate this session, right? Who will be the moderator?
I'm sorry, Professor.
Professor Puteri?
The voice is not clear to hear.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we should use.
I mean, who will moderate this session? Moderator. Who will moderate this
We
session?
will
The moderator.
play the video. It's now connected to.
Yes, yes, yes.
Then we will play the
Okay.
video, and after that
Mhm.
we will go to the second phase. We discuss maybe question. The topic is actually very good.
Okay. Before I some words.
Yes. Uh,
Okay.
okay. We will start.
Is it about to start?
I want to. It's okay now. It's okay for us to start now, Professor.
Okay, okay, okay.
So I will play. Show the presentation first. I want to share. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's glad to have everybody gathering in this conference. We have online participant and we also have offline participant. Inside this building, in this room, we have almost 150 participants. And then also in the online, we have around 28 participants. So glad we meet. The technology now is quite impressive. So Professor Brian now in the train, but still can contact with us. First of all, I have to ask permission from the participant, all the participants to, I am now your moderator for this session. I want to introduce Professor Brian Pai. Is actually personal, is my external examiner during my PhD degree. So I know him quite good, and he's a very nice person and a very nice professor. Professor Brian Pai is actually now Associate Dean of the College of Social Science National Chengchi University. And now is also a professor from the Department and Land Economic National Chengchi University in Taiwan. He got his first bachelor degree in the Department of Transportation and Communication Management Science, the master degree in Institute of Traffic and Transportation, and the PhD degree in Graduate Institute of Building and Planning. So from this curriculum vitae, we can see that actually the background of Professor Brian Pai is mostly on infrastructure, urban planning, and transportation. This is some of